Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to Earth. Feelings are flowing this week, and not necessarily in a direction that anyone can control. There's so much watery energy going on with a dash of drama, so get ready for your July 1st through 7th weekly horoscope. I'm Talia from the AstroTwins, riding solo, and I'm going to have to use a word that no one in astrology loves to hear, and that is retrograde. Yes, another outer planet is going retrograde on Tuesday, July 2nd, and that is Neptune, the planet of denial, sacrifice, illusion, compassion, miracles, spirituality, otherworldly, ethereal energy. Neptune is the ruling planet of Pisces, and like all the other outer planets, it basically spends 5 months of the year retrograde. There's nothing we can do about it. But what's special about this year's Neptune retrograde is that it's not the only outer planet that's backing up through Pisces all summer. Last Saturday, June 29th, just a couple days ago, Saturn, the planet of structure, also turned retrograde in Pisces. So Saturn and Neptune are together in Pisces on this very bizarre journey. And that journey began last year on March 7th, 2023, when Saturn moved into Pisces for the first time in 30 years. And both Saturn and Neptune are hanging out together. Next year, they move into Aries for a little bit, and that's going to be a totally different energy. Then they go back into Pisces, and in early 2026, both of them embark on longer tours through Aries, which is going to change everything, but we don't have to talk about that now, although you're probably wondering, WTF, Tali, why did you tell me that? What do I need to do to prepare for it? Okay, I will give you a few tips, but first, let's just focus on where we are. Let's be here now, because when planets are retrograde in Pisces, we can start to spiral out into anxiety and worry, and everything feels like the sky is falling. So I want to warn you, you may go into Chicken Little mode this week and really catch yourself and reel yourself into the present. You're going to have to do that probably pretty regularly. Saturn is the ruler of chronological time, the clock, the ticking clock, whereas Neptune is more associated with Kairos time, that flow state where you get so lost in whatever you're doing that you forget to even pay attention to the hours and days slipping by. So imagine these two planets together has already been a little bit of a mind F for us all since last March. And they don't actually unite that often, Saturn and Neptune, by the way. Saturn changes signs every 3 years, Neptune every 15 years. Saturn moves around the whole zodiac through each sign in 29 and a half years. Neptune takes 165 years. So the fact that they're together right now is kind of a rare historical moment. They're kind of a chorus of opposites. Their energies don't exactly blend well. Saturn's a boundary hound. Neptune blurs boundaries. Saturn wants empirical data. Neptune wants to get lost in imagination. What is reality anyways? Neptune wants fantasies. Saturn wants reality. Saturn also wants to know exactly how to measure everything. And Neptune is all about things that just simply can't be quantified. So with them both together in Pisces, which Neptune is at home in, and Saturn is like, what am I doing here? There's been this weird reality shift that we're dealing with. And I think it's showing up for a lot of us in the way that we kind of have to live in dual realities, even just to cope and get by and attempt to understand things that just don't make sense. Everything from AI to war right now falls into that category. So this week with Neptune turning retrograde along with Saturn, we can kind of think of that in two different ways. Because we hear the R word, the retrograde word, and we freak out. Is everything going to fall apart? Are my systems going to crumble? Am I going to get lost in an illusion like Dua Lipa? Maybe so. But another way you can think of it is that you are actually having this respite from the energies of Saturn and Neptune. They're kind of in snooze mode a little bit too. Their powers are a little bit muted. So Saturn's hard driving task mastering is not going to be felt as strong. And Neptune's deluding influence won't be leading us down those garden paths. In some ways, we have this opportunity to really enjoy our imaginations without the restrictions of Saturn or the melancholy urges of Neptune being dialed so far up. Of course, that means we have to be our own reality checkers. So before you decide to drain your life savings to pursue a bucket list trip or something like that, maybe think it through, okay? Just think it through a little. Now, the likelihood of us selling the farm and blowing up our nest eggs will be tempered by some input from Cancer. Safe, security-loving Cancer energy is another strong water influence this week, and thank Goddess for that. So the sun is in Cancer all week, yes, and Friday, July 5th, we have the year's only new moon in Cancer. So the day before the new moon, which is July 4th, and a holiday here in the United States, should be especially interesting, both cozy and a mood. And whatever mood that is, well, that'll be an interesting one to find out. Because the day before a new moon, that waning crescent moon, is also known as a balsamic moon. It can be as tart and tangy as vinegar, because we call that planetary PMS when there's that last little sliver of moonlight left. Everyone can be a little tired and worn out and bitchy and cranky. So if you're planning to celebrate with family, as many people are, on the plus side, Cancer is the most family-friendly, loving, nurturing sign. But with the balsamic moon in Cancer on Thursday, our patience for playing caretaker will run very thin. Make sure that you are not going into hyper nurturer mode and worrying about everyone. You're going to have to let go, because otherwise there could be little blow-ups. And I'm not talking about somebody lighting off a string of fireworks. We're probably going to be kind of noise sensitive too. So if you're somebody who hates fireworks, try to make some kind of provision so you're not in a place where, the downtown display is popping off in the sky, or the neighbors with kids are just lighting off their contraband fireworks all night. There's only so much you can do about that, but I'm just suggesting for people that you honor the fact that you may be more sensitive on Thursday and be around people who love sensitive you as well. If that means being hyper vigilant about your guest list, well, so be it. I can count so many July 4ths where I just wanted to stay inside and embrace my hermit side that I do have as a Cancer South node. And, that might be the vibe for many more people this year. But July 4th is a long weekend. So Friday is when the fun begins after the new moon in Cancer, and we all get a reset and then have some Leo moon fun going on over the weekend. Now, speaking of Leo energy, Tuesday also brings a shift towards the lion's passion and fire. Yay! Mercury moves into Leo. And it's going to be there till July 25th. So that's going to lighten things up a lot too. But it could also bring a little drama during that balsamic moon, or all of a sudden the feelings that you didn't want to talk about while Mercury was in Cancer could come rushing out. Try not to do that. I feel like I'm always warning people to think before they speak. Could it be because I have Sagittarius sun and have learned this lesson the hard way one too many times? It really is a creative boost for us. So get involved in some kind of an artistic project or jump in for some jam sessions, wear more colorful clothes. Next week, Venus also goes into Leo on July the 10th. So there's going to be more of that energy coming too. But if you need to have a serious conversation about love, Tuesday is a good day because we have a trine between Venus, the planet of love, which is in Cancer this week, and Saturn, which is retrograde in Pisces. So a trine is when two planets form this flowing 120-degree angle. It's very harmonious. It's an easy energy shared between them. They're both in water signs. This is a moment where you can kind of bring up feelings that you've been holding in for a while. But one thing you want to remember with Saturn is it's very solution oriented. So it's not an invitation to vomit all your feelings all over somebody. What it is an opportunity for a proactive discussion. Hey, I'm feeling like this. I'd like to come up with a solution or a structure that supports our relationship in a positive way. How can we do that? I have these needs. I understand you may have other needs. How do you feel about that? Let me ask you questions and listen to you thoughtfully and carefully and compassionately, and not rush to come up with an answer right away. That's the beauty of Saturn retrograde. You can stop and reflect. But Tuesday is a good day if you want to have a mature discussion about something that's maybe in need of rebalancing in a relationship. Back to those retrogrades. Neptune's retrograde ends on December 7th, and Saturn retrograde ends on November 15th. So basically, guys, we got the rest of the year to work through these 5-month cycles. They happen every year. There's no way around it. The outer planets spend 5 months a year retrograde, except Jupiter, which is 4 months. And we basically are in retrograde season because one by one, they're going to start backing up. And that means some of those bigger issues, those long-term plans we're making are ready for a review. Now, I did say I'd give you a little tidbit about Saturn and Neptune and Aries, that little brief bit next year, writing all about it now for the 2025 horoscope. And it's just more of an outward energy, much more of a matter of fact, let's get it done energy. I see a problem, let's solve it. This doesn't make sense. Let's figure it out. Like, boom. No ruminating and waiting around. So enjoy your rumination time now because we're going to have to move faster. And that makes sense when you think about the way some of the problems of the world seem to be accelerating. Climate change, for one. We're going to have to fix things fast and use Aries innovation and, willingness to roll up its sleeves and just jump in and do it. But I happen to believe that we are in a divine flow with the planets. And right now, we might not be able to imagine what that'll feel like. But once we're there and the timing has arrived, we will be able to ease into it and know what to do. We'll be ready for it because we'll have gone through this Pisces energy and we'll be ready to evolve to the next sign. That's just how human beings work. Now I'm going to bring us back to the super present moment, the summer of success, as we're calling it, because we are right in the middle of a bookend of 2 full moons in Capricorn. We had the first one on June 21st and the second one on July 21st. So the Cancer new moon this week really marks the halfway point, a time to check into your emotions. How am I feeling about these goals? You might actually have some worries about your career or money or fears that come up, and you may have to settle yourself down. Like, okay, how do I clean house a little? How do I minimize what's draining my energy, draining my resources? And how can I get more flush, open up more flow? And in some ways it might be dialing back some expenses or maybe figuring out some household fixes or work from home side hustles you can do, or relying on family members, bringing in a roommate to help pay rent, or renting out a room to an Airbnb, or there's all kinds of creative solutions available. Those are the things you want to look at. And we are going to be celebrating the Summer of Success past July 21st. So if you haven't already heard, we have something really special planned for 8/8, aka the Lion's Gate, the day when the sun in Leo aligns with Sirius, the spiritual sun. And metaphorically, that's a way of connecting the way we shine spiritually with the way we shine in the world. 8/8 is also a really powerful day in numerology. 8 is the number of abundance. And the Lion's Gate being on 8/8 is a day to use your spiritual energy as well as your creative energy to attract and manifest what you want in your life in terms of money, power, respect, and that includes self-respect, right? Because when we're working from our soul and our spirit, things feel aligned. So in honor of that, we've teamed up with astrology.com to create a special Lionsgate festival moment together. And you can sign up for that and get your ticket at the link in bio. And that includes an amazing abundance ritual that we're going to be doing live. You get a copy of our new book, The Astrology Advantage, mailed to you, a hardcover copy. You'll get a special Lionsgate report to find out how your zodiac sign and the number 8 work together. And the big grand prize, drum roll, a chance to win a trip to San Francisco to come meet us live for a reading. And of course, we'll go out to dinner together too. So we'll be hanging out there at Cancer South Node. We can't just hang out and do a reading. We got to have a meal together. That's how it works. So one lucky winner will be flown out and put up in San Francisco for that. We have 8 runner-up packages with some amazing prizes too. So make sure you get your ticket for that at tinyurl.com/success-fest. So that's what's happening in the stars this week, friends. We'll be back next week with more forecasts. So that's what's happening in the stars this week. We'll be back next week with your next round of horoscopes as the planets keep on turning. As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrocell.com and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.